wouldn't take you here if I didn't think you could do it.
What's going on, hitters? All my hitters out there. My HITTERS. What's going on, guys? It's happy-go-lucky Mr. Smiley here. Mr. Caesar. And I'm back. I'm back. Back in the motherfucking saddle. I was supposed to have a guest today, but he bitched out on me. So when he hears this, I hope he hears the disdain and disappointment I have. He just wants to sit outside work and talk to his friend for hours. This was supposed to be a two-wary cowboy episode, but I guess it's just me, just the one cowboy, you know. But I think that makes sense, you know, because cowboys are usually, you know, the Lone Rangers. They're all alone. Anyway, how are you guys? How are you guys doing? How are all my buddy old pals out there? You doing good? I hope you're doing good. If you're not doing good, it's all right. It gets better. Don't worry. At least you gotta have faith that it gets better. That's always good. Have faith. Believe. Which is actually my piece of shit segue into what I'm gonna talk about today. As just imagine, just sit back and relax. Well, whatever it is that you're doing, just sit back and relax. Imagine it's you and me. I'm on one horse, you're on the other. You hear our horses' hoof beats. I can't do it. What is it? I can't do it. They have 4 legs, not 2. I'm on one horse, you're on the other. I look up, I got my poncho. I look up, look at you. Hey man, you ever just sit back and you ever feel like you're meant for something bigger? And you sit there and you do I don't know, you do whatever you do. You sit there and laugh at me and go, shit no man. What are you talking about? We're just cowboys. And then we find a little babbling brook and then we sit down and have a picnic. That's how this fantasy plays out as our cowboys. There's a quote that I heard, and this whole thing is really struck me today because I'm in a really weird headspace mentally, and I don't know, maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't. Regardless, just know that it's that's the case, and maybe I'll cry, maybe I'll get it out there, but there's a quote that I heard that goes, there is a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Open-mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, or belief. And that is a quote by Napoleon Hill. I like to sit there on, flat on my back with the little, lightning bugs just flying above my head, thinking about whether or not Napoleon Hill was on some sort of drugs when he thought about that. No, when you think about it, I mean, he's absolutely right. There's that difference between wishing and believing, just being ready to receive it fully. You know, what's that saying? Um, a goal without a plan is just a wish. And I don't know how many of the things that I've ever wished for, you know, those goals that I put out into the ether. I put those all out there, you know, compare the goals that I've said out loud to the universe, compare those to the ones that I've put down on paper and written out a plan. I could say that 100% of the things that I've written down have happened. And that comes from, I don't know, the definitiveness of putting it down and having the universe correspond to it, you know, putting it down and really making it official. See, my problem, my sour attitude today is the fact that, I don't know, something kind of clicked in my own head today where I'm not a, I don't know, I don't feel the love and passion for the job that I have now currently. I've been at the same company for 4 years, and there's a problem that I have with it where I'm just sitting there wasting my time. 100% feel that way. And I know that I'm sure everyone out there who's listening to this in their car on their way to work, on their car or on the way home from work, in their cubicle, at their desk, on their lunch break, on their break, whatever, it's in the car right now, right before work, laying down in the seat, literally waiting until 7:59 and 45 seconds to get up and get out. Fuck, dude. It's hard. It's hard, man. But I can't get that thought out of my head that I'm sitting there wasting my time. There's a thing that my old manager told me a while back, as the manager of the job that I work at. He spent 8 years there, and God bless him for doing what he did. And it's unfortunate that it took him so long to get out, but you know, props to him, he did. But he said, he was talking about a girl at the time, but it really makes sense with whatever it is that you invest in. But he says, if I'm going to invest, you know, if I'm going to be with somebody, I'm going to make sure that they're worth my time. Because time is the one thing that we don't get back. And I was like, whoa, bro. This is just some girl. He's like, yeah, she could be my wife. And I was like, oh, that's cute. But then you sit there and I take it. This is the same guy who gave me the takes a little bit more to be a champion. But, you know, you sit there and you apply that same thing where it's, I'm sitting there sometimes staring at the computer screen because I just can't force myself to do something. Can't force myself to work. I can't force myself to move. Or everything's been done and I'm just kind of sitting there waiting for the next thing to happen. And it's like, fuck, dude. It's been 5 minutes since I walked in the door and I already want to throw up because I'm just, my God. Anyway, sorry. That was, anyways, back on track. You gotta, you know, as I sit here and I complain about what it is that I do, in I sit and talk about how I want to do all these other things. Like I want to, I want to be a full-time weightlifter. I want to be a full-time athlete for the United States. I want to be a podcast producer. I want to do all this stuff. The crazy thing is that I've written that down. I've written down weightlifting. I've written down podcasting. But I have yet to write down. I've written down leave my job, but I haven't written down what I'm going to do instead. I've written down when, and I've written down that I do, but I haven't written down what I'm going to do instead. And I think that's the thing that's preventing me from moving forward. I got this job when I was 18. 18, yeah. No, like 7. Yeah, like I just turned 18. Yeah, just turned 18. I got this job when I just turned 18. And I've been there since then. That was I really know nothing but this, and I can honestly see where there's that debilitating fear of the unknown, because this is the only thing that you know. This is the only thing that you're good at. Take it from me, a kid who went to college, for maybe two semesters, sparingly, off and on, when I wasn't skipping class and not fucking paying attention like an idiot. Take it from me where now trying to look for something, I feel completely underqualified. I feel completely, it's just kind of going out there, you kind of feel worthless, man. Trying to find something else, you kind of feel worthless because man, it's hard. It's kind of like that thing where, as a person, you attribute all your successes and everything that you do well to your personality. And I don't know, I do this job well without thinking, but and if I were to leave and go somewhere else and start something new, I'd start from the bottom, and I might make mistakes. I might fuck up. I might get fired, but I think that's the fear, man. That's the fear, and that's what's preventing me from. I think that's what's preventing me from leaving, because I'm really afraid. I'm really afraid of leaving because it's all I know. But that's bad. So don't do that. Anybody listening, don't do that shit. All the goals and dreams that I have that are important to me, I've written down. And I guess this is the other one that I need to find out and write down. But it's one thing to write them down and wish for it, kind of hope that it works. And then there's another thing to sit there and be in the state of mind that is purely belief. You have to believe in what you're doing. Believe in the direction that you're going. So I sat down and talked to my stupid flaky cowboy cousin at work today, because he also works with me, and that also kills me inside because I see him wasting the amount of time that I am. Oh gosh. And I talked to him and I asked him about, he was talking to me about, well, first I asked him, why is believing important? What's important about having a belief? And as you know, he's a cowboy who comes from the Catholic Church, so he's very religious, and he has that mindset, but he's also very open-minded and young. He's like a Catholic hippie, if you can kind of say that. And he sat there, he was telling me about how belief is important, and then he goes And he asked me, no, that's not the order of events. I was sitting there trying to focus. Okay. So I was sitting down, taking notes, you know, taking notes on what I wanted to talk about today. And this fool comes up and he asked me, he goes, hey, partner, howdy, how you doing? And I'm like, how you doing, bud? What's going on? And he asked me if I wasn't working, or if I wasn't weightlifting, if I didn't have any other projects, if I didn't have any other big ideas or big dreams, big goals, would it be worth it to just work? And obviously I said no, because you know, I think it's impossible. I think as a human being, you can't really focus. You can focus your energy on one thing, and you can really try to make it work. But when it's something as mundane and something that doesn't excite your passions and doesn't really get you going, like a boring job, like a job that doesn't that doesn't make you feel valued, when when you know the difference between wanting to do something and having to do something. Having to work is not everyone's passion, but wanting to go to a job that you really enjoy, that's something that you love doing. So I said, of course not. Like, if because he wants to do music, he's very interested in the music scene, and he's very interested in he just mind expanding drugs, and not saying that you should do those, but there's it's medicine. I personally believe that stuff like that is medicine. I'm not saying to do it, but it is in one form or another some sort of medicine. And I think that it's really important that you get in touch with your body and your spirituality, whatever way works for you. For me, it's something like weightlifting. For my cousin, it's God, and sometimes doing a little bit of acid at a festival. That kid's he's 19, 20 years old. Let him fucking live his life. Anyway, he's in touch with his spirits. He's in touch with his soul and what he wants to do, and he's always been a creative boy, and he's really gotten into music as far as what really speaks to him. And he's been, fortunately, he doesn't have a laptop, so he's trying to save money to get that, but he's been busting his ass working, trying to save and pay off his car and pay off this and pay off that so he can get one. And I see this kid at work just hustling, just grinding through videos on how to learn how to make new synths and music theory and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, just fucking do it, man. Just do it. Doesn't matter. Just do it whatever way you can. And obviously I knew what he was getting at when he asked me if it was worth it just working, just doing something and not having any real passion to it. And I said, no, of course not. And I knew he was talking about music, then that's why I kind of just cut to the chase, and I said, listen, man, you have to really, you have to believe. And it was just funny because I had the quote pulled up on the computer in front of me, and I looked at him, I looked at the quote, and it's like, it's crazy how sometimes the universe lines up, and sometimes things really are, it just come off as fate. It's just come off as like, this is supposed to happen. This is what happened today. What made me feel this way was supposed to happen. What made him feel this way, all of this is just supposed to happen. And the quote was pulled up. There's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Open-mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, or belief. And and he looked at me and he was like, "Shit, man, shit, man, that's mighty deep right there." I know, thanks, bud. And I just I told them that, and it's the same thing for me, and it's the same thing for it might be a little bit harder for some for some people out there because they have responsibilities, they have they have less time than others, they have things on their mind, they have things that they have to take care of first. Absolutely. And I'm not taking any power away from you. I'm not. You guys are a special kind of breed, you people who are sitting there trying to bust ass, trying to do what it is that you can to make things work, to be happy for your family and take care. That's fucking amazing. No disrespect, nothing but praise. You guys fucking stay hard and you guys don't ever give up. And for someone in my position, someone in his position where I don't have that kind of responsibility. He doesn't have that kind of responsibility. Fuck, man, I could, I don't give a shit about my car. I don't give a shit about anything else. Anything else that is that's dispensable, something that could just be taken away. Like, I none of that stuff really is important. The stuff that's important to me is the stuff that means something to me. And I just told them, man, like, you might just need to put all your eggs in one basket. You might have to. Sometimes that's necessary. And I told them about the story about when Shane Sevick bought me breakfast. Right? Shane Sevick bought me breakfast at the national championship in Kansas in 2018, right? Now, to some people, that might be cool in itself because it's like Shane Sevick. Oh, Shane Sevick bought you breakfast. That's pretty sick, man. Yeah. Or just some guy named Shane Sevick who I don't know anything about bought you breakfast. Shane Sevick is another masters weightlifter, but he's always out there kicking ass. I've talked about him a couple times on the podcast already, but he's just a fucking swell guy. He's basically like my weightlifting daddy, and he's like my weightlifting dad. And I was 20 when I first met him, and nothing but love from him and everyone around him. I love that guy. I love that guy, and I know he cares about me, and it's just fucking it's great, man. But so Shane Sevick bought me breakfast. I was at the whatever, the Marriott or wherever it was in Kansas, in Overland Park, Kansas, at the hotel buffet right next to the convention center where it was taking place. And I was downstairs just kind of eating by myself. He comes down and we just start talking and we just started talking about weightlifting. And we were competing against each other later that same day, and it's like, really, it's simple. It's simple. It's a simple thing that happened in my life that means a lot to me. But it only means a lot to me because of everything that went into it before. Back in 2016, when I first started weightlifting, when I was when I was sitting in my car in the Target parking lot, kind of in the same position I'm at now, really not sure what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I wanted to weightlift. I knew I wanted to do something bigger than myself. And then I made the decision to be a weightlifter and go all the way, no matter what the cost, no matter what the cost. no matter what it was that I had to do to get to where I had to be. And I'm not there yet, but I'm closer. But I'm sitting there crying and watching inspirational videos, and it's like I had to sit there and make a decision and fully believe in the decision that I made. I was ready to receive whatever I had to be a weightlifter. And that's when things got serious. I had just finished up school. I didn't do so hot because I wasn't really committed. I had just, I was just working and just not doing anything really important with my life, and that was it. That happened, and I sat there and I was like, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna give myself a year. I'm gonna give myself a year from this moment on, around September, October in 2016. I told myself that I was gonna stop going to school for the year. I was gonna stop going to school for the year to see what I can do in the year with weightlifting. And I don't remember what episode it was on when I talked about it, but I had the goal of competing at 5 meets before I turned 22. 5 meets before I turned 22, and it so happened that the meet that I went to was the American Open Finals, the number 5, the 5th meet that I went was the American Open Finals, and I went 6 for 6, and I went top. I beat Shane. That was the funny thing, is that I beat Shane, and he was 40 at the time. I was only, dude, how old was I? I don't remember. I think he's 20. I think he might have been third, like 39, 40, and I had like 20, yeah, something like that. Just 20 years, yeah. So I think it was just 20, just turned 20, and then he had just turned 40, something like that. So I was, I beat him, and it was just, before that I had always looked up to him on Instagram. Like he was the coolest guy. Man. So the thing about it is that to get from crying in the parking lot at Target to beating Shane Sevick at American Open Finals, to get from that point to that point, I put all my eggs in one basket. I put so many hours into the gym, like in the gym and training. I was just working and just weightlifting, nothing else. I wasn't doing anything else, just the two, and I had that fucking stringent belief that I was going to do something. I was going to do something with it. And man, let me tell you, if I hadn't, and that's the thing, is if I hadn't committed, if I hadn't done any of that, I wouldn't have started doing it with my friends. I wouldn't have gotten Bailey into it. I wouldn't have, met my first coach, Michael, and then I wouldn't have met Coach B, and then I wouldn't have met Sage, and then none of this would happen. That's because I believe so much, so blindly, so much in what I wanted to do, and that's the passion and fire that I wish I had now for some sort of solution to my work problem. So from crying in the parking lot to competing with Shane Sevick. I shouldn't have said beating before, because Shane kicked my ass. But to competing with him, and then somehow squeaking out a victory, and then 4 or 5 months later, him and I are just talking. We talked. He started following me on Instagram. He started talking to me. We would talk back and forth. Shane actually sent me shoes because I was out of I didn't have a pair of shoes and mine were falling apart. And fucking A, man, like this is just one thing with one guy that I look up to, all because of the work that was put in before, all the belief that I had in myself before. And then finally we got to the actual, we get to nationals in May of 2018, and then he buys me breakfast. The coaching switch, the hours of training, the fucking days of training, the jobs that I got hired and fired from, like everything that was in between was just kind of there. It was just kind of there, but weightlifting was the one constant because I wanted it to be, and I think that's what I wanted my cowboy cousin to understand. From what I said, I only had that experience with Shane because of no other reason. That never would have happened any other time and that would not have happened in this universe. Maybe in some other alternate universe, there's an alternate universe where I never started weightlifting. But that would have never happened if I hadn't thought to myself, hey, it's time to fucking man up, It's time to man up and do something. And I saw my cowboy cousin just kind of sit there and understand where I told him that he needs to put all his eggs in one basket, and if he's not going to go to school and he's just going to work and do something, that he needs to do that music thing if that's the thing that makes him happy. And you know what? Everybody's sitting there telling me that I'm wrong. It's okay. I might be. It worked for me. It might not work for everybody. But at the end of the day, as long as you have the belief, as long as you have that belief, I think you can really achieve anything that you want to. It's all about mindset. It's all about that ability to make yourself uncomfortable. And the more and more I talk about it, the more and more apparent it is that I'm just being a big old stupid bitch because I'm not willing to do everything that's necessary. I'm not willing to commit and put all my eggs in one basket. I don't know why. Sometimes, and then again, that's why I love doing this podcast, where again, this isn't meant for the inspiration to somebody else. This is the looking inward rather than looking inward and evaluating yourself, because I would have never thought about any of this kind of stuff if it wasn't for the fact that I had to talk with you guys about it. But yeah, so Shane bought me breakfast, and in no other universe on any other planet in any other solar system, I think that would happen if I didn't put all my eggs in one basket. I mean, think about it. Think about the breakfast that you would have, and in breakfast, this is a term that can mean really anything. But think of all the breakfast that you could have if just for once you actually put those eggs in one basket and it worked out. Sure. There's always room for error. There's always room for something bad to happen, of course. But you could spend you could spend the rest of your life doing a job that you hate doing, and you can still fucking suck at it. You can still fail. You can still get fired. You could ruin your life by doing the thing that you don't want to do. So why wouldn't you at least try to do the thing that you want to do? Think about it. This is another quote that I heard. I don't know where it's from, but it was something that get ready for some existential type shit, bro and girls, bros and sisses. All those days that came and went, little did I know that they were life. Let's see what that's from. Let me just look at it. All those days that came and went. Stig. Oh, it's an old Scandinavian saying. Think about that. Stig Johansson. Who is that? Stig Johansson. Stig Johansson is... That is... I don't think that's Stig Johansson. What? Stig Johansson? Sorry, guy. I just kind of took me by surprise because there's a Stig Johansson that's a soccer player, and then there's a Stig Johansson that's a songwriter, and then there's one that's a woman, Stig Johansson woman, that said the quote. So I think maybe, I don't know, or a man, I don't know. Can't believe everything, but I'll say it again, and really think about it. Really sit there and think about it. And because I think about it every day. Ever since I heard that, I think about it every day while I'm sitting there just kind of wasting my precious time that I'll never get back. And my cousin said that to me earlier too. He's like, sometimes I'll sit here and then I'll realize like it's like 4:00 and then we have 4 more hours to go. And I'm like, the 2 hours that I've been here, I'll never get back. All those days that came and went, little did I know that they were life. Damn, bro, it's heavy. It's kind of like if you watch The Office when Andy, towards like the very last episode, where he goes, I wish that, what did he say? I wish that you knew that you were in the good old days before they actually happen. Or no, what does he say? I think I butchered the absolute shit out of that. He goes, oh, I wish there was a way to know that you were in the good old days before you actually left them. Man. That's heavy too. Guys, I'm not here to depress you on this Tuesday afternoon when this is going to be released. Okay. This is a problem that I'm going through and I need to figure it out, and hopefully in my sadness and my way of going through it and talking about it, hopefully that helps somebody who's going through something similar, you know? But I just, it does, when you start realizing that time is your most, it's like Interstellar. It's like you got to start thinking of time as a resource, man. And again, I'm not saying, I've never believed this. I've never believed that everybody is meant for some crazy insurmountable goal that, or some goal that's bigger than their own life. That's something that's just bigger than, there's something that's incredibly gigantic. Like, not everyone has to want to compete for the United States of America. Not everyone out there has to be a professional anything. If what makes you happy with the time that you have is to spend more time with your family, and that's your goal in life, fucking do it. That's what makes you happy. That's what's worth it. That's what you need to do. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time not doing that. You know, if your goal in life is to sell one painting, write one book, get one thing published, if that's your goal, that's your goal. If you're a dreamer, if you're a doer, if you're any of that, fucking put those eggs in that basket and get it done. Get it done. Because all those days that come and go, eventually you're going to look back. You know, every day, there was another thing I heard, is that every day is the same. But how can we look back and everything's different? You know, things do change. You can make those positive changes in your life. Man, I'm being a real asshole right now. There's a company. There's a nonprofit organization that I am an ambassador for. And you know, I got one. So full disclosure, I got one shirt. Okay, that was never the point. That didn't matter. Okay, I didn't want anything. I just wanted to be a part of this because this is something that I believe in, right? And it goes hand in hand with what it is that I'm talking about, as far as being a dreamer, being someone who has something that they want to achieve. And people talk shit. People sit there and they'll fucking judge you. People will be there and they'll hate you for it. And that's not the reason. So the foundation that I'm a part of, or at least an ambassador for, is called the Be Like You campaign. And it's an anti-bullying campaign, and the two founders, they do really, it's a fresh campaign, so they're making their rounds and trying to and getting it as big as they can, or making their way downtown. They're making their way through, you know, through whatever trials and tribulations they have to go through before they can, you know, get noticed and get bigger and achieve their goals, you know. And the founder who approached me, her name is Fetu. Man, when we talk, you want to talk about stringent belief. You want to talk about 100% convinced in their purpose that they're doing. You need to talk to this amazing woman. She has been through some shit, and she has come out the other side a better person for it. And I'll have her on the podcast at some point. I need to take this mobile and make it mobile and go. But her and I sat and we talked. She came into work one day. She came into my work, and I can honestly say that's probably the best part of it, where I get to meet a you know, an interesting group of people, you know, like her. And then today I met some Australian hitters, and honestly, they're like the first Australians that I've ever met, and honestly, they were the nicest people. All I've known, all I can say from Australia, and all my hitters out there in Australia, if you guys are listening, God, you guys are hilarious. And I've only ever heard that the people from Australia are just super chill, and that everything out there can absolutely fucking destroy you. And I said that to him, and he was like, well, yeah. He's like, well, yeah, mate. I didn't do that well. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry, Ken. If you're listening. He's like, yeah, but you know, you're driving down the street and there's a big crocodile. You don't go out and fuck with it. Like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's the same shit. Like, you go out to, you get a California black bear. You're not gonna get out of your car and go fuck with it. But yeah, meeting people is pretty cool. That's probably one of the benefits. I meet a lot of cool people, and then a lot of shitty people. So it goes hand in hand. But Fetu and I talked for. She came in. We talked for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours in the store, and because it was so slow, I got to just talk to her straight, just about my life and what what she's done and what I've accomplished and and the reason why I'm a part of this is because afterwards we sat down and we talked, and we went to breakfast and I sat down with her and we talked, and she and she wanted me to be a part of this, and she asked me why I wanted to be a part of it, and not a day goes by in my life where I don't think about what that teacher said to me. It's the hardest thing in the world to get over something like that, where all you want to do is be a dreamer, and all the people out there who are sitting there scared to make any change in their life the same way that I'm scared, because you're afraid you'll fuck it up, you're afraid you'll fail, you're afraid someone will tell you no, you're afraid someone will tell you suck, all that shit. I deal with the same shit too, man. Like, I've dealt with it, and I've had people tell me of, that teacher who told me that my dreams are too big and that I purposely want to fail so everyone else out there could feel sorry for me. That still stings. Every single day that stings, because it's not true. Never in my wildest dreams could I have thought of achieving the stuff that I thought. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would have breakfast with Shane Sevick because of how much I busted my ass to prove somebody else wrong. And it shouldn't have been about proving somebody else wrong. It should be about my own journey, and that's what it has been, but goddamn does it sting. But personally, I think that this Be Like You campaign is something that I really resonate with, because my entire life I've struggled to do that. I've struggled to do the one thing that you're on this world to do, and that is just be like you. Just be like the person that you are supposed to be. Be yourself. When you can commit yourself, and you can commit yourself to something that's bigger than yourself, the big picture kind of thing, where you're not doing it just for your own ego. You're doing something for, I got asked that question earlier, is can you do something? Can you be successful without helping others? And I don't think you can. Whatever way it is, whatever way it goes, you're always going to be helping somebody. And I think Napoleon Hill said it best. He said that the quickest way to be successful is to do it by helping other people. And when you commit yourself to something bigger, something beyond yourself, that's where real passion, real truth, real happiness lies. For me, that was Olympic weightlifting. That was being a part of a really good team, doing the best that I could for not only myself but for my coaches. At some point it'll be for my country, and then doing something like this podcast where I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for myself to help myself, but in the process, if I do inspire, if I do help a few people, that's always good. And once again, I get to be a part of something that's bigger than myself. And I really do believe in this project, in this Be Like You campaign, because I've talked about it multiple times. I've struggled with depression and anxiety and stress, and the stress of, regular people stress, the stress of wasting my time, depression that's come from bad things that's happened to me, failures and injuries. And go listen to that Be the Hero episode and you kind of understand where I'm coming from, as far as depression and anxiety. And if I get to sit there and talk to a kid, if I get to sit there and reach out to a kid who's going through some shit the same way, something very similar, and I can sit there and tell him, hey bud, listen, you hear all those people, all those people who keep telling you that you can't do it. That's not true. It's really not. I've been told, I've been told that I would never amount to anything. I've been told by coaches, I've been told by teachers, I've been told by people who really didn't believe. That's what it is. These motherfuckers did not believe in me. They didn't believe in me, in my dreams, the same way that I believed in my dreams of myself. Even when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was some dumb kid, some stupid high schooler in school, trying to start my clothing company, trying to be a football player, trying to be a baseball player. Fucking dude, I was like right after high school when I went to college for a little bit. The only reason I went to college was because I wanted to be a baseball player again. And I was convinced in that. There's nothing wrong with being not self-confident in yourself, not overly self-confident in yourself, but comfortable in your abilities and just and having that belief that everything's just going to work out. Because if you're not trying to do anything with your life, if you're not moving forward, or if you're not challenging yourself, can you really say that life is fun, that life is interesting, that life is life? Because that's all life is challenge. But those coaches and those teachers did not believe in me the same way that I believed in myself, and they didn't see me for what it was that I could be, and that was a dreamer. And I believe at every point, every person has that inside them. Doesn't matter what the dream is, every person is a dreamer. They all have dreams, they all have aspirations, they all have goals. They don't have to be gigantic, but they're there, and they have things that they dream of. They have things that they fantasize over. They have things that they aspire to be, and no one can take those away from you. So being a part of a campaign like this, it's given me the ability to share my story, and at some point I hope to reach out to all those dreamers and all those kids, all those people who are lost or being picked on or fucked with. And I might sound insensitive about it, but it's not, because to me it's not, because it's the truth. It's just life. There's people out there who are not going to fuck with you. They're not going to like you. They're not going to give a shit about you. And fuck those people. I'll say that to a 12-year-old kid. No, I won't say it like that. But there's people out there who are not gonna vibe with you just because they don't like you. People are going to be bullies. People are going to suck their entire life, but that does not mean that you have to suck your entire life. If you're still holding on to shit that some bully did to you a long time ago, I can't even say get over it. I can't even say get over it because it's still messing with me today. But I think I read a really interesting quote about it earlier today about revenge. Let me see if I can find it real quick because there it is. How do you unclench a tightly clenched fist? Do you apply just as much force? No. You just relax. That's how you let things go. And I read that, and if you're still struggling from something like that, at a certain point, I'm going to have to let that go. Because what I've done with my life, as much as I believe in myself, as much as you guys believe in yourselves, they're wrong. And they'll always be wrong. I have discovered the meaning of the giant hand. A hand has two functions, to grip and to release. But without both of these powers, it is useless. Like newborn infants, we grab what comes near us, hoping to control it, taste it, jam it into another child's eye. But the time we spend in control of our world is the time we spend letting go of others. Ideas, stories, pride, girls in soft sweaters, video games, buttered noodles. Grip one for too long and you lose so much that you've never held. This giant hand was sent to all of us as an invitation to increase our mastery over the power to hold on and let go. Man. Never in a million years did I think that I would have been where I am in the rankings of USAW. Top 10 in the United States. Never in a million years did I think... Okay, that's not fair. Not never in a million years. I believed in myself and I knew that I would get there. I just didn't think that it would be so quickly once I committed fully. Never in a million years did I think that I would have achieved what I've achieved so quickly, but I knew it would have come eventually, and that's what everyone has to understand, that when you commit to something, everything happens a lot faster than you might think. Or it happens a little bit slower. I think it happens different for everybody. But it happens. But never in a million years would I have thought that I would be in the position I am so quickly with where I am in USAW, a bronze medal at the national championship, this big of a podcast, I'm not sitting here to brag about it. I'm sitting here as kind of like a proof in the pudding, where if you put all your eggs in the basket of yourself, put all your own eggs in your own basket, and crazy shit happens, man. Being a part of a campaign like this is at the end of the day, my main goal is to reach out to other people other people, kind of like how I do here, but reach out to other people and talk to them about their dreams and let them know that their dreams are heard and they can do it. Whether, that bully is at school, at home, on their team, whatever. They need to believe in themselves. They need to believe in who they are. They need to believe. That's it. In general, they just have to believe in what it is to be like themselves. I found a passion, and I found something that I dreamed, that I wanted to, and eventually dreamed of, and now I'm in a position. Where I can make decisions. And take a little bit more risk and have things work out and not be afraid. I don't have to be afraid. Doesn't mean I'm not, but I don't have to, because I believe in myself, and I need to do that. I need to focus on that. I really am proud to be part of this campaign, and you guys should definitely go check them out on Instagram. It's the Be Like You campaign, and just give them a like, give them a follow, and talk to them. Reach out to them and tell them about your stories, about anything that happened to you, that's going on with you, and your ability to be a better person, because you started believing in yourself. You decided to be like you and really make a difference in your own life. There is that quote that I said about the big hand, that was from Community. I couldn't remember where it was from. That was from Community. But I've been listening to a lot of Jocko Willink. And again, like I said, Navy SEALs, those are some hard motherfuckers, and I would love to be a hard motherfucker. But he has a chapter in his book about belief and believing in the mission, and what happens when you're in a team setting or yourself as a leader. So take it as it is, take it for what it is. But the quote goes, "In order to convince and inspire others to follow a mission, a leader must be a true believer in the mission. Even when others doubt and question the amount of risk, asking, 'Is it worth it?' the leader must believe in the greater cause. If a leader does not believe, he or she will not take the risk required to overcome the inevitable challenges necessary to win, and they will not be able to convince others. Leaders must always operate with the understanding that they are a part of something greater than themselves." And the funny thing is, as I was reading that and writing it down right before this episode, it got me thinking, it got me thinking back to before, where, back to crying in the parking lot to be a weightlifter, to just be a weightlifter. It got me back to that, where, I wasn't afraid of what anybody thought. I wasn't afraid of the repercussions of anything. I believed in myself. I was a true believer in my mission. And even if others did doubt me, if other people did question the risk involved, asking if it was truly worth it, back then, where it was like, really, are you just going to be a weightlifter? Are you really not going to do anything else with your life? In in my own mind, as the leader, of my life, the captain of my life, I it was it definitely was a greater cause, because, you know, I'm not, I've never been one to be driven by money for my main purpose in life. You know, if your main purpose in life is to be rich, you will be rich. If your main purpose in life is to you know, party all the time, you'll party. If your main purpose in life is to buy a big house, buy fucking cars, like you'll have it. You'll get what you want. You know, will you be happy? That's up to you, but I don't think I've ever been monetarily driven like that, because all that kind of stuff fades. You know, all that kind of stuff, it'll break, you can go away. You know, it can be replaced, but what can't be replaced is how happy and proud you feel about yourself. It's a greater cause, when you know, when you look outside of your own ego, and this is for how proud you are of yourself, how proud you can make your family, how, you know, how this makes life worth living, how you can live with yourself, and even if you fuck it up, it's like you had the gall to try, you know, like that's the greater cause. And it is true when he says that if a leader does not believe in the mission, and they won't take the risks necessary to acquired to win. They won't do what's required to win. And, you know, as I sit here in the beginning of this podcast, I was sitting bitching about my job, and I'm still bitching about it, but it kind of makes sense, where the reason why things aren't going the way that they want, in that way, I'm not sitting here doing what it is that I want to do, is because honestly, I don't believe in myself, because I'm very scared that the only thing that I know is that job and how to do this stuff. But in order to be a better person, in order to be a wise person, sometimes you just gotta go. Sometimes you just gotta do it. Sometimes you just gotta struggle for a little bit, you know? Sometimes you gotta get your car repossessed or your phone disconnected. Fuck, man. That's powerful. You know, to me, at least, to myself, because I think I am truly intimidated by the idea of being without. I'm intimidated with the idea of not being comfortable. You know, I've been so comfortable for such a long time with this level of, well, you know, with this kind of work, that I've never sat and really thought about what I can do instead. And that's not good. You have to be constantly growing, constantly learning. And if I don't do this, if I don't sit and believe in myself, there's no way that I'm going to be able to convince other people to invest in me, to invest their time, their effort, their energy, their, you know, their love in me, you know. There's no way. And again, a leader must always be able to operate with the understanding that they are part of something greater than themselves. And I do have to admit that I think I am part of something greater that I have not fully opened myself up to yet. You know? And I think that that's the problem with that a lot of people have. Confidence. Confidence in the face of the unknown. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be scared, and it's okay to be intimidated, but you can't let it. Oh, dog. You can't let it ruin you. You know, I've been down 0-2 and snatched. I was that meat that Shane Civic bought me breakfast at Nationals in 2018. I was 0-2, 0 for 2 in snatch. 0 for fucking 2, bro. I missed the first 2 snatches, and I came back out for the third attempt and was supposed to make it. I talked to everybody after that. Everybody on my team. Everybody. They were like, we did not think that you would make it. I had very little fit. Bailey even said that she didn't believe that I would make that snatch, and it wasn't about that. It wasn't for her. It wasn't for anybody. It was for me. I didn't go all the way to Kansas to fuck it up like that. You know? But I could have. But you didn't. I didn't. You know? You didn't come all this way. You didn't get all this way through your life to just not, you know, to not write that book, to not write that story, that short story, to not take that photo, to not start that podcast, to not write that song or make the song, to not run that mile, to not lift that weight, to just not, whatever it is. You didn't come all this way to not. And fill that in for yourself. To not blank. You didn't come all this way to not. So understand that you're operating for something greater than yourself. Take your ego, take rewards, take everything out of it. Take everything out of it, and you'll understand that something greater is in the process. Belief is a really important tool, really important thing. It's really, really important. So I guess I have a lot of thinking to do personally on my end. Yeah. So quick question maybe if people would like, if they would be interested in it. Just, you can email me, you can DM me on Instagram or something. Just kind of go out of their way to message me. But just let me know if if you think it's a good idea. If you would be interested in some sort of small little program that I put together, maybe like a squat program, or like a short little, it's like a short little 8-week, 10-week program. I'm learning on the back end how to program effectively, just reading through books and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to sell it, but I would definitely love to put together something and then send it out to people and see if it works, see if it's going down, see if I'm learning. Because again, remember, that's the only way that you learn. Honest feedback from other people. So yeah, message me if you're in the area, if you're in my area. I would love, please DM me, hit me up. Maybe we can train together. That'd be pretty sick, right? That'd be pretty sick. But that's just the direction I want to head in. I want to head in the direction that I'm meant for, that I believe in myself in. And I know everyone should too. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys. I love you guys. I know there was a lot of quotes today. You know, some a wise, what is it? Something about a wise person learning from the mistakes of other people. So, I guess that's kind of how I address it. There's a lot of people who learn from other people's mistakes, and I'm learning from those mistakes. So, I guess you could say I'm the wisest person out of them. Right? Right. All right. So, thank you guys. I love you guys. And like I said, yeah, reach out to me if you're interested in some sort of like small programming. I just want to see and test myself and just learn. And thank you guys for listening. I can't tell you how much it means to me that every day that this thing is growing, getting bigger and bigger, and putting me on the right track to me believing in to the things that I believe that I could do. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat, and it's always so hard to say goodbye because I just care about everybody so much. But goodbye, everybody. See you guys. Be easy out there. Everybody, just be easy. Just be easy. Rest your mind. Be easy. I don't know how many times I'm going to say be easy, but just, I can't stress it enough. Just gotta be easy. All right. Goodbye.